everyone, and welcome back to the Pagan Pathways UK YouTube channel. Now for today's video I just wanted to introduce a bit about animal spirit guides. I'm going to talk about them a lot on the channel, so I just want to introduce what they are and how they can help us. And we wanted a lovely natural setting, so here we are at the bottom of Pagan, which is pretty close to where we live, and we're very lucky to have this nature nearby. And animal spirit guides are very good to connect to when you're out in nature, so it's a very appropriate place to talk about this subject. So what are animal spirit guides? Now, to start to talk about that, we have to talk a bit about spirit guides in general. It's a term that's used a lot within the spiritual and pagan communities. Normally spirit guides, as the name suggests, they're beings of spirit. They're not physical, here on earth beings, but they're here to help us and guide us, and they can come in many different forms. The one that most people seem to be familiar with is guardian angels, and obviously there are angelic spirit guides that some people work with. Now, animal spirit guides, as the name suggests, appear in the forms of animals, and they are animals of spirit that work with us for our lives. Now, pretty much everyone has one main animal spirit guide that will be with them for many years at a time and will help guide them on their life's path. And this animal spirit guide will be there to help guide you to find fulfillment on your path and to kind of fulfill your purpose for being here on earth in this particular lifetime. Now, the form of the animal spirit guide says quite a bit about what it is that you need to do in this lifetime and how you need to develop and grow as an individual. And each type of animal has different kind of traits associated with it. Now, sometimes they're not immediately what's obvious. I mean, a lot of people associate something like a peacock with vanity or showing off, whereas actually the meaning of the peacock is to kind of respect your own inner beauty and be happy to just be you and showcase yourself out in the world around you. So there's a little bit of research that goes into each individual animal spirit guide. Now, I'm lucky, I can communicate with my animal spirit guides relatively easily. A lot of people can't. This is something you need to build on, but pretty much everyone can find ways to discover and communicate with their animal spirit guide. Now, one of the common ways to do this is through visualization or journeying, and animal spirit guides are often associated with journeying and kind of like the shamanic practices, and particularly Native American beliefs. But pretty much every kind of ancient pagan culture had their own totem animals they would work with. I wouldn't necessarily call them that, but they were there. So using those kind of shamanic practices and journeying and visualization are a really good way of meeting your animal spirit guides, and there are a lot of good visualizations out there, and I want to be sharing one in the future on our channel, so stay tuned to that. Another way you can meet them is by using a kind of medium to facilitate communication with them. Now, on our website, I offer animal spirit guide tarot readings, and the tarot is a really good way of communicating with animal spirit guides because they can use the different cards as a means to kind of get their message to you. And if you're not someone who can kind of hear or see them directly, it's a very good medium. Tarot works pretty well for this because there's a lot of scope within the cards. You've got 78 cards within the deck, all have their own different meanings. How they work with each other and with each individual also varies, so they're really good for that. And that's why when I do animal spirit guide readings with the tarot cards, I don't use animal spirit specific tarot cards. You can get them. There are some beautiful animal spirit decks and oracle animal decks out there. If you're interested, definitely go out and have a look, so you can find lots of them. But I prefer working with a standard tarot deck because it gives more scope, because otherwise with the other ones you pick a card and that's your animal kind of thing. You don't get to learn more about it that way. Now, another means of facilitating communication is by using what would be called a totem, so something that will link to them. Some people like to use actual animal parts for this, so bits of the animal in question, teeth, fur, bone, etc. If you want to go down that route, make sure that whatever you use is ethically sourced and it's something that you're allowed to have. A lot of animals protected for very good reason. Humanity not great for the animal kingdom. So you don't want to have a bit of an animal that you're not legally supposed to have because you could get in a lot of trouble. But also you don't want to have an animal that was killed specifically for that purpose. The energy associated with that particular totem is going to be great. Also, you might have a really thoroughly annoyed animal spirit rock up, which you do not want to have to deal with because that's just not fun either. So be careful. Some people like to use images, statues of their animal spirit guide. That works very well. I've seen some people use little plastic kids' toys that represent the animal. That's great, and it's great. It's whatever works for you. My favourite way is by using crystals to facilitate communication. Now, each crystal has an animal spirit guide associated with it, so by using the right crystal, you can support communication with that guide. This is an area that I'm actually writing about in my book. If you see my Wolfen's Crystal video, that's already on the channel, you will know a little bit about that. But we'll be talking more about that in the future as well. But those are just some ways of working with your animal spirit guide. Now, some people over time can get to kind of see and know what the spirit guide is communicating with them. Not everyone sees them as clear as day or hears them like as a clear voice. There's a thing called clairsentience, which is that you know what they look like, you know where they are, and you know what they're communicating to you. And for the vast majority of psychic work, it's clairsentience. It's not clairvoyance, which is literally seeing, or clairaudience, which is literally hearing. It's clairsentience. So if that's you, don't panic. There's nothing wrong with you. It doesn't mean you're not a proper psychic. It just means that's how your brain works, and that's absolutely fine. But as with all things like this, it does take practice. And the most important thing of all, though, is to be open and willing to hear the wisdom of your animal spirit guide. For most people, they're just not aware of them. If they hear them, it's like a gut instinct or kind of like a sudden desire to go and do something which they didn't expect before. That is their spirit guides communicating with them. They just don't know it. And the same will go for you. That is how your spirit guide is trying to communicate with you. So the best thing you can do as a starting point is just sit down, take a breath, and be open to your animal spirit guide. Let them approach you and let them be willing to communicate with you. It may not work the first time, it may take multiple goes, but it's worth trying. And as I said before, visualization is the natural next step of that. So in the next video, what I will be sharing is a visualization to meet your animal spirit guide, which will best be done in a nice quiet place, or somewhere if you can do it out in nature. We're very lucky here, it's very quiet. You do need somewhere quiet in nature, no one's going to disturb you. We're not going to have a cow or a dog rock up and disturb you, because that just wrecks everything. So, and you know, it's nature, it happens. But yeah, so I hope that was interesting and helpful for everyone. I hope you're excited to learn more about animal spirit guides, because I love talking about it, and I'll be doing it a lot on the channel. And if you want to know more about animal spirit guide tarot readings, and we also have some crystal products and wands on our website to help work with particular spirit guides, do go and have a look on our website. The web address is paganpathways.uk. Go and have a look in our shop. We've got lots of stuff on there. We've also got a page on there just about animal spirit guides, so you can find out more there. And we regularly share animal spirit guide posts on our social media channels, which are Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And we're at paganpathways.uk on each one. So thanks very much for listening, and I'll talk to you soon. For more information, please visit our website at paganpathways.uk.